faculty of sexuality and fertility. This whole gift is to create, to reproduce. That is why we become like God. A new person is created. That is why marriage is so important. You're safeguarding the chastity of the woman because, of course, now with the paternity tests and so on, you can find out who the man is, with the DNA testing. But previously, the mother was known. Recently, a 14-year-old girl was killed by her father, okay, because she refused to say who the father of the child was. Okay, so, and this was called an honor killing. So the raising of children is what marriage and fertility and sexuality is all about. It is who I am, and the education for chastity, for purity. This was what has been going on, both socially and at the individual personal level. This is what we need to focus on. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
We have another question from Usha to Dr. Geraldine.
Yes.
I read that some people who commit such crimes are psychologically not stable or mentally challenged. Is it true, or is it just a reason to escape from the law?
I explained, the personal responsibility and the social responsibility. It is not optimum. Definitely, there is a form of mental illness. Mentally challenged is very specific, when the intelligence, it deals with the IQ of the individual. But mentally unstable, it is a form of mental illness because I'm not able to exercise self-control. In many of these cases, the man or the woman is drugged, or there's, substance abuse. Alcohol is one of the major forces which lead to men raping, because you lose control. Your higher centers are not effective at that point of time. And there is a very physical response, both in the man and the woman. That is why you have something called a rape trauma syndrome. Please look it up because I didn't have the time to actually share it with you. Rape trauma, because the body is geared to reproduce, to create a new life. A baby is conceived in these marital acts, in these sexual acts. That is why it is so important to nip it in the bud, to become aware in your family who is having these kind of difficulties. And, we need to focus on the family, the parents of the child, your family of origin, and the extended family members where this child sexual abuse and pedophilia and incest takes place. Is because of the, the silence that is there related to this form of abuse. So yes, it is a form of mental illness. You have to take care of the predator. Actually, as a forensic doctor, I had to examine the, the rapist, the predator, and then go to the court. And because we don't give a medical diagnosis of rape. We only say if, yes, this person was capable of having intercourse or not. Okay, I would go for the examination of the male person in this whole crime. Yeah. So, and it's not a medical diagnosis. Yes, there is violence. There is a violent sexual behavior, which is again proved through the court of law. But the effects are for everyone, not just the individuals concerned. That's why it's so important. The whole family, society, we are diminished, we are degraded, and, we feel ashamed that, we are not able to protect to really love each other, that with that tenderness, with that caring. That is what men and women are created for. That is true feminism. When the women are completely able to express themselves, their potential is recognized. And the man is also, the glory of God is man fully alive. And that means both the man and the woman. And the interventions has to be in the family, not just sex education. It has to be very appropriate. In the name of sex education, a lot of stuff and nonsense is going on. That is why we need the father and the mother and the children, the family, the nuclear family, and of course the extended family, where intervention should take place. Okay,
Um,
thank you. Anything have I?
Thank you, ma'am. We have one more question. You just said that marriage will safeguard the chastity of a
Yeah.
woman, but we have cases where the husband itself is the rapist, and the husband's family, or there are. It's not very clear that married women also get raped, ma'am. There is nothing like married women don't get raped. There are a
Uh,
lot of cases where pregnant women get raped, and as ma'am just mentioned before,
yeah.
that a pregnant woman was raped and her body was cut open and the baby was thrown out. How
Yeah.
can we say that marriage will safeguard a woman?
I mean, yeah, exactly. You see, this whole concept of marital rape. You see, my whole presentation was about Adam and Eve, and Dinah, the rape of Dinah. In Genesis, before that, ancient time itself, it was recognized. Do you agree with that? I mean, am I clear about that? And marriage, in the sense of it becomes, particularly in 2020, our bodies are such beautifully created instruments. Yeah. So that one man, one woman, at every level, the sexual act, the marital act, is so very powerful. Yeah. At the cellular level, at the chemical level, at the neural level, everything of the two individuals interact. The two shall become one flesh. Okay. However, that is a pathology. When you talk about marital rape, it's the violent behavior of this individual. Okay. So that we say no to. That for that the woman has to step out of that situation, get help. That man needs treatment, counseling. There's pornography or alcoholism or drug abuse. Yeah, there is a sexual also an addiction. There can be sexual addictions because it's the person. That's where your whole sexuality and your fertility is what makes you a man and a woman. It's not the man who is the criminal, you see. Okay. So, in different situations, and I said again, there is a personal sin and there is a social sin. As cultures, you think it's okay, like whether it's the Dalit women, earlier we had prostitution, you think it's okay to human trafficking, where you just make use of these, of our people as objects, as things to be used and exploited. That is wrong. Okay. That is a social cultural sin. But the individual can also have his or her own problems. Okay. And even women can be sexually abusive.
Yes,
So that
ma'am.
is
Thank
why you've got to understand what are we created for? What are our bodies created for? The natural law. So to achieve that perfection is a difficulty. And remember, we are 1.3 billion people of Indians, different cultures and traditions and resources. So this knowledge, you young people have to take this up, and education and knowledge and support is what is very essential to stop this kind of behavior.
Yes, ma'am. And when you were giving us the speech, you also mentioned that homosexuality is not accepted by, it's not normal. Can you
Yeah.
please speak, elaborate? Because according to us, according to our generation, homosexuality is a very normal thing and we have accepted it.
No, my
How
dear.
is that,
Yeah. Okay. I'm
how is
sorry.
that a cause for any of our problems? I don't think that should cause any kind of distress in the society.
Okay, let me just share that as a forensic expert, I was called to give the transgender certificate. Okay, transgender certificate. When I was working at Victoria Hospital, I had a major because of the legal system. In fact, the human laws that are made may not be moral. You have to resist when it goes against, or whether the MTP Act, or the POXO Act, whether the woman, the young woman, is allowed to kill her baby. Okay, so there are laws that are not human or should not be accepted. Okay, it's not the complete humanity. That is why there is a supernatural dimension. Now, coming to homosexuality, sodomy, and sodomy is I don't know whether you've read the scriptures, but Sodom and Gomorrah, it is, see, and particularly as a doctor who did anatomy for 1.5 years, dissecting a beautiful male body, and studying all this forensic medicine, sexual offenses. And I said, we are beautifully and wonderfully made. Yeah. You have your, like the way you use your hand for a particular purpose, you use your different organs for their optimum purpose. Yeah. So where homosexuality is concerned, at least that anal intercourse, that organ is not designed for that. There may be pleasure for various reasons. If you see the way the body is constructed, there can be stimulation of these various nerve centers. I said chemical, neural control of the body. Yeah. We have all these controls in our body system. And the optimum is what I'm talking about. This is a disorder. Definitely. Of course, that is what I'm saying. Whether pornography is accepted, prostitution is legalized, yeah. So even homosexuality, the kind of thinking that is, being people are being brainwashed into thinking that homosexuality is okay, is fine. It's not okay, it's not fine. There are consequences to that behavior, to the individuals concerned, and to the society itself. You just check out the statistics. Okay, you do your homework and you see how earlier these people die. And as I said, gender, am I a male, am I a female, when the even the gender consciously. And if the child decides, I hate my father, I hate my mother for whatever reason, I don't want to be the gender of that, the roots of it. You have to go to the roots of it. You can't just assume. And then many of these people told me that they wanted to change at a particular time, but they could not.